General Hospital spoilers reveal that Sasha's journey through her pregnancy is only becoming more fraught with tension and heartache. What began as a hopeful time for her as she anticipated the birth of a child with Michael Corinthos has now morphed into one of the most gut-wrenching and emotionally challenging experiences of her life. Sasha's path forward is filled with heartache, difficult choices, and the crushing weight of secrets and lies. The emotional toll this situation takes on Sasha, Michael, and Jason Morgan is monumental, as each character navigates their own personal demons and their conflicting desires to protect one another. From the start, Sasha has been dealing with the fallout from her complicated relationship with Michael, as well as the pressure of being pregnant with his child. She's already been through so much emotional upheaval in her life, and the pregnancy was supposed to be a fresh start, a chance for her to build a family with Michael. However, as soon as Sasha's pregnancy progressed, it became clear that things were not going to go as she had hoped. Instead of a smooth pregnancy, she was faced with challenges that pushed her to the edge of her emotional and physical limits. The decision Michael made to keep their pregnancy a secret only added to the weight on Sasha's shoulders. Michael, being the pragmatic and cautious man that he is, knew that revealing the truth about Sasha's pregnancy could lead to complications for both of them. The secrecy surrounding Sasha's condition and the decision to have Jason step in as the father added a layer of emotional strain to an already tumultuous situation. For Sasha, the arrangement with Jason was meant to be temporary, a way to avoid unwanted attention and ensure that she didn't have to carry the burden of the pregnancy alone. But as time went on, the lie they were all living became harder to maintain, and the cracks began to show. For Jason, stepping into this role of the pretend father of Sasha's child wasn't something he had ever anticipated, but he agreed to do so out of loyalty to Michael and to protect Sasha. Jason, as always, was the one who stood strong in the face of danger, the one who stepped in to do what needed to be done, regardless of the emotional toll it took on him. However, as Sasha's pregnancy continued, Jason found himself grappling with emotions he hadn't anticipated. His care for Sasha deepened, and his feelings of responsibility for her and the child grew stronger with each passing day. When Sasha went for the critical health checkup, she wasn't expecting to hear the news that she did. The results were devastating, to say the least. Sasha's unborn child was diagnosed with severe abnormalities, and there was little to no chance of survival. The baby was not expected to survive after birth, and, even worse, continuing the pregnancy could put Sasha's life at risk. The emotional devastation Sasha felt at this moment was incomprehensible. No mother, especially one who had already faced so many struggles, should ever have to confront the reality of losing her child before it even had a chance to be born. The pain she felt in that moment was unbearable, and it sent her spiraling into an emotional abyss. The news was a punch to the gut for Sasha, and it's no surprise that she initially rejected the idea of terminating the pregnancy. The thought of giving up on her child was inconceivable to her, and she couldn't bring herself to even consider the possibility. Despite the dire circumstances, Sasha clung to hope, believing that there might be a miracle that could turn things around. But the cold reality of the situation set in as she realized that she was facing a choice between saving her own life and the possibility of losing both herself and her child. Jason, who had been by Sasha's side throughout this ordeal, found himself in a difficult and heart-wrenching position. He had always been the one to make tough decisions, but this was different. This wasn't about business or the dangers of the mob world. This was about life and death. Jason, ever the protector, knew that if Sasha continued with the pregnancy, she might not survive. The very thought of losing Sasha was unthinkable, but the reality was staring him in the face. He couldn't let Sasha die, especially when there was something he could do to stop it. It was Jason who was left to make the decision, whether Sasha would undergo the procedure to end the pregnancy and save her own life, or whether she would risk everything to carry the child to term, despite the dangers. This decision was not one that Jason could make lightly, and he found himself torn between what was best for Sasha and what she wanted. He knew that Sasha was devastated by the news, and he could see the anguish in her eyes every time the subject came up. But the gravity of the situation left him with no choice. If Sasha didn't terminate the pregnancy, she might not make it through the ordeal. Jason's own heart ached as he realized that he was going to have to make a decision that would forever alter the course of their lives. Sasha's refusal to accept the idea of terminating the pregnancy was a natural reaction. As a mother, it's impossible to fully understand the pain of losing a child, even before they are born. But the reality of the situation was undeniable. Sasha was facing a life-or-death choice, and Jason knew that it was ultimately his responsibility to guide her through it. He couldn't let her make a decision that would lead to her own demise, no matter how much it hurt both of them. The tension between Jason and Sasha reached its peak as they both struggled to come to terms with the difficult decision that had to be made. Jason, who had always been the strong, silent type, found himself emotionally vulnerable in this moment. He cared deeply for Sasha, and the thought of losing her was a fear he could no longer ignore. But as much as he wanted to save her, he also had to respect her wishes. Sasha wasn't ready to give up on her baby, even if it meant putting her own life at risk. Jason was forced to navigate the delicate balance between respecting her autonomy and doing what he felt was necessary to protect her. As Sasha continued to wrestle with her decision, Michael, who had been kept in the dark about the latest developments, would soon find out about the situation. His return to Port Charles would bring even more tension, as he would have to confront the reality of Sasha's condition and the difficult decisions that had been made without his input. Michael's role in the story becomes even more complicated as he tries to reconcile the truth about Sasha's pregnancy with the reality of what's happening. How will Michael react when he learns that Sasha has been carrying his child, and what will he do when he realizes that Jason has had to step in to make decisions for her? The stakes are higher than ever, and Michael's involvement could make everything more complicated. This situation is an emotional roller coaster, with twists and turns that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The stakes are high, not only for Sasha and her unborn child, but for the entire community of Port Charles. The lies, the secrets, and the emotional turmoil that these characters face will have lasting consequences, and it will take every ounce of strength they have to come through this ordeal in one piece. As Sasha, Jason, and Michael struggle to navigate the complexities of their lives and the heartbreaking decision ahead, viewers will be left wondering how much more these characters can endure. In a world filled with tragedy, betrayal, and loss, Sasha's story is one of resilience and strength. The choices she makes will define her future, and the love and support she receives from those around her will be what ultimately carries her through this dark and difficult time. Will Sasha be able to overcome the pain and loss, or will the weight of this heartbreaking decision break her? Only time will tell as the drama unfolds.